Good morning. We made it to Friday. Not a lot of big things going on yet in the market. Uh, I did hear some news, though, last night that they are passing to raise the debt ceiling. Ooh, I know. That's not good. And they're going to give that all the way till December, right? Now, here's what's interesting about that month, December. When I was doing some modeling predictions, some of you guys have been there for the first time I predicted when the market was going to crash, and it did in March, right? Uh, so I'm pretty keen to know when these levels are going to start breaking, right? Uh, what I'm seeing though for SPY is around December for a correction. So, I could see maybe, we test new highs. If they want to keep pumping this market up, go ahead. Go ahead. But it's going to drop harder, and that's just going to make crypto stronger. So do what you do. So currently we're looking at SPY's market. We're looking at you know, if it looks like any good lottos today. And I was telling the guys, like, there might be some good lottos today with the catalyst of this debt ceiling being raised. Yeah, they might play this pretend, the market's back again, it's healthy, everybody invest, put your money back into it, just to lay the real trap, right? So I think it's important that we stay realistic. We know that the world is not put back together. Things are still very, very, very in shambles right now, right? But their money is the easiest way to hide a lie, and that's what they're doing, right? They're going to start pumping it into advertisements with your, marketing again, getting close to Christmas, Black Friday. They kind of get you not paying attention to the real health of the economy. So, just be mindful of that, especially on these days where it seems like everything's going to go back to green and everything's good. The coast is clear, right? So, for SPY today, right? Well, let's just look at what happened. So, in the video I talked about we need to get above 238 or 428 and hold. And this little arrow that you're seeing right here, that's exactly what happened, right? So now, where's the next level? Okay, this is a very tough level to trade in. This is where a lot of traders lose a lot of money. And it's not because that they're in the wrong, essentially. It's just because everybody is in that location. And what I'm talking about is when it gets into this mean, right? When we're reverting back to the mean. So we're going to either break and go back into this channel here, or we're going to try to push up higher. So this is where we're testing at right now, right? So we know anything below 437, we're going back down. And if we can stay above, I would say 439 today, we're going to go back up. Let's see if we have any other signals that are telling us otherwise. So Nessie is still rendering a sell, but we still have a buy on the 10-minute, right? So again, we'll see how they react with this particular line right going through here. And the way that line was created is was not something that I had a dream about and like, oh my gosh, this is where I'm going to put my lines. And oh, I'm looking at these particular tops of these candles, and they have fancy names and shit. So this is where I'm going to put my lines. No, what I did is I just kind of drew simulated a scenario with the lines with the bands, right? I'm just projecting where the bands are trying to move. Okay, so is it completely accurate? No, but it's more accurate and than doing, looking at those historical values. As crazy at that as it sounds, it stays pretty accurate. So uh, if we fall back in that channel, then it's going to go back into my plan where we're going to see a bigger move happen next week, right? Remember now, Columbus Day, we're closed. Okay, so I don't know if the market's closed. The market's closed on Columbus Day. I'll get back to you on that one because I'm not sure. But if you guys, yeah, you guys let me know. That'd be great. But anyways, we are, if it is closed, then expect, a violent or slow week, which we might see some kind of significance happen around the 13th. Okay. Uh, or it might not. It just depends on if which is going to play. Are we going to play back into this channel? Well, it really doesn't matter, honestly. The 13th or so, I'm seeing something that's going to happen. Just looking at this particular cross right here. Okay. And that cross was built by two convergent lines crossing each other, and those do play significance, right? And we'll get into that in a later video, or maybe even a lesson down the road. So right now, let's get back to SPY, and I'm sorry for rambling. So it looks like it's trying to have a reversal, right? This is trying to make a new trend. So I would say, again, if we can stay above that 439, then we may test up to 443 today. All right, so 443 calls might be in the play, but just remember that there's going to be a lot of volatility on the open. Guys are closing out their contracts and whatnot, and trying to get to their beach homes for their 4 day. Or we might see slow day, and then we get a pop around like 130 or so. I was telling the guys in the group that's kind of the patterns that I see. So I mean, you can make your own conclusion on what you think is going to happen, but that's just what I see. So yeah, we have that this line is pretty strong. I'm checking these different time frames, and it's showing this same level of support. And it doesn't matter that this price here is different from this price here, but it's still showing the same level of how we're reverting back to this mean line. Okay, so this is a farther out outlook, but we can still use it because it does show some significant patterns, and that's kind of what humans like to see. So if we stay above, we're good. If we break into the channel, then we probably could see 440 431 today, maybe a retest of that 432 maybe. So those might be better entries for your lottos play. Okay. So let's take a look at some of the tickers that my guys suggested. Now, I'm not going to get through the crypto yet because they're a little bigger, and I appreciate you guys giving me some feedback on that. Let's just take a look at Tesla, right? Because I was hearing about Tesla calls, and I have a something significant going to happen here today, actually. So it looks like it's saying it's going to happen after the market, but that reading could be a little inconsistent in that notion. But what I'm looking at is we're getting into a nice little squeeze through here, right? You guys are seeing this nice squeeze. So we might get really tight through here and start having a breakout happen. So I think Tesla might be a good play today. You might even get to the 840s, right? That would be nice. If we get to 840, that's doable. It is doable because it's playing on the bands here. We have resistance at 806, right? So once we get through that 806, we have a bigger area for price to go up. That 824, 830, but I think 840 calls are good if you can get them cheap, right? Look for cheap ones. If we break anything below 78, then we're going to see a pretty nasty reversal with Tesla. I would say 749 would be another entry we could get into if that happens. And if we stay currently above that 793, Tesla's playable. All right, let's see if Nesty's also showing any bounce. And there we go. We got a little bounce right there happening, trying to hold this support, right? Even though it's technically it broke support, this line, it hasn't completely broke it. All right, listen up. This is very important. This is how the VWAP works too. So listen up. This line, if to confirm a bullish or bearish sentiment, it's 2.5 candles, guys. So that's 2 candles that close above or below the line that confirms a bullish or bearish. The problem, though, is sometimes that doesn't give you enough time, right, to get into an entry. But sometimes it does. It just depends on what time frames you're looking at. So right now, we're still not quite bearish. Now, if we break another line, and this is why this can be used here as a stop loss, right? Say you got into this entry and you're under right now. You could just say, okay, if it breaks below 786, we're going to go lower, and I'll wait till I can get a more optimal entry, right? So, but if it has another candle that goes above, then not necessarily ready to sell yet, or to buy or sell. We're waiting. The same thing, we're waiting for that confirmation and get above the line with 2 candles. You could do the same thing with the VWAP too. Just like I was telling the guys in the group, we don't use the VWAP as a support, right? You can see even on this chart, it doesn't work. It's not consistent. Okay, this is a lot more cleaner right here than all this right here. Okay, that's really hard to read. These middle lines are VWAPs, right? But you would struggle to even know what was going on through here. Okay, so they exploit the heck out of the VWAP because they know a lot of people are using it. I don't know who they is. Okay, we could say market makers. We could say algorithms, right? Just algorithms, big money controls. Who knows? But I've just observed the behavior, and it's not necessarily how quantitative analysis works when it comes to reading volume. They are like the dictators for fills, right? The volume dictates your fill order. So they look at, like, volume is like turning on a light switch, right? It happens very fast and very sudden, and you see it. Okay, or like they see it through their orders and they're ready to get their fills in. Traders, retail traders may not see those, happening, right? Now, what I've done is I provided Nessie with, when it does these spikes right through here, right? So these spikes you can see down here are also spikes of volume, and you can see how fast this happens and how hard it would be for another trader to get into this. So we're just getting the crumbs, right? But the crumbs that we're getting is really good value because we're getting it at such an extreme level, right? So we have so much time to get into these trades that we're still going to make good profit. So didn't mean to go on a tangent with the volume, but hey, join the Discord group or whatever, and you can see that whole novel I wrote last night about volume and everything else. So Tesla, yeah. So I give you those levels. Baba, this was another one. We talked about it in chat for months. Well, I wouldn't say months, for weeks, about Baba being a support around 138, right? Now, I argued against this because obviously when we get into these lower bands, we're going to see more volatility, right? So that's not the best entry, but it's still good for maybe options if you can get into and play that volatility, right? Unfortunately, I struck out like twice when I played Baba, and kind of like, yeah, I'm going to take a step away from Baba at this moment. Now, when we hit 138 though, and you can see right on the line we hit it, that's when I started getting into Baba, and I made some pretty good money on it. So green for the most part, except my Amazon call, that didn't go so hot, but green for the most part. So 138 was the support, and then it just started gapping up like crazy, right? So this is where we try to get these opportunities. This wasn't even a buy the dip. This was buy the best value. And that's where this was, the best value. And anybody who got into that as well, congratulations. So those are the things we look for, guys, is we look for those entries to happen. We don't chase the entries. We wait for them to happen. We get the confirmation from the NESI, from the bands for a good time to buy, and then we get into it. So where do we go with BABA now? Who knows? I have some old lines here. They're not that old. Maybe like a few weeks old, but they could still be workable. 165 would be a level that we might be trying to test today. Let's see if we have some buys. So we have a support here holding at 159.40 and another one down here at 151. So those are your levels for BABA, 159 and 151. We stay above that, then maybe you can ride the 180 calls today. Okay, Walmart. Walmart has been had a nice little run up with the rest of the market too. I think Walmart can run up again. So this is more of a speculated play, but just seeing the observation of a squeeze happening, we might get another pop, and we haven't really got that much movement this morning, so that's good. So we might get in some 144 lottos as well. 140 is a resistance I'm looking at, 142-ish area. We get above that, then we're gravy, and we'll see what Walmart wants to do. Right now, I did see that retest on that line at 139, so we'll note that, saying that's an area that if it breaks, then we can't play that Walmart quite yet. So we're still bullish on both of our levels here. I got another level at 136, so that would be your new entry if it does break below 139. So basically what we can do is say, okay, if we stay above 139, we can play this, right, for lottos. If it breaks below 136, that would be our new entry to take a look at if we wanted to get into a longer term swing, if that makes sense, right? 135, 136, that's what we'd be looking at. And see if Walmart wants to retest. Honestly, if it's going that low, then everything else is probably dropping too. That's why I think 139 is probably going to hold today. Okay, so those are my levels for Walmart. That's what I'm looking for today for my play of the day. Now let's get into the cryptos. Bitcoin holding steady at 53,000. This is what I was talking about in the video, holding steady at 53. I don't care about the noise. There's a lot of noise on these lines right now because a lot of robots trade crypto, right? So they're smarter than some of the robots in the other markets, right? Because they're not regulated, so they can probably, spoof volume and whatnot and trick traders and all that crap. So we are still holding above the 53,000, right? We're at 55 right now. We could say a new support here is at 54,700, okay? And if we break past that, we get to that 57,000 range. And since we're right in between that 57,000, might as well say we're going to 60,000 by Saturday, guys. So if we stay above those levels, you could probably play this up to 60,000, and then we'll see how the rest of the market wants to react. I'm seeing higher, man. I'm seeing that we're going to break past our previous high for Bitcoin. Bitcoin looks pretty strong today. And our main support down here is about 50K right now. So yeah, we're going to say 50K, 53K. You would want to get out of your positions if you've been in that position. And then 50K would be the new entry for that position if it holds. Okay, so moving on, let's go to Doge. Doge is being Doge right now, and it really hasn't showed any strength yet, but we can still try to see what's going on. And all these lines, guys, I cheated. I did. I did these lines last night just so I could get through these faster. So what I look at through here, right, is this line that rejected this previous sell. It's lining up with a new opportunity for the price to go a little higher, right? So you can see we've rejected in these upper deviations, Now we're going to the lower deviation, right? We're not in this higher zone yet. We're a little lower. So maybe Doge, with the rest of crypto, will move up this morning. So maybe you'll be able to get in there. I got some levels at 27 being a pretty strong resistance. We break past that, then maybe we could see 30 cents and so on. Anything under, I would say 23 is a sell. It is a sell unless you're long-term holding, but I would say, reevaluate your position if it gets under 23, because if it gets below that, then I'm not quite sure how much lower it could go, right? I see a level at 21, but then you're getting into areas where people had stronger entries months ago, right? So that would probably cause another waterfall of sales to happen if the rest of the market reacts that way. So something to, food for thought. Let's look at Litecoin. So Litecoin showing some strength. 180 is a pretty strong area of support too. Or is it 180 or 170? 170? I don't know why I have 180 on the mind, but maybe there's a reason. Let's see if it's a buy right now. Showing a little bit of a purchase here at 178. And I would say if we can get above 181, then we're playable for Litecoin. And, let's see if we can get to 210 by Saturday as well. Well, let's not go that far. Let's say 200, right? Let's be realistic. About 188 would be your first level of profit target. Your next level would be 200. Okay, and anything below 170 is a sell as well. These charts look really clean, and that's always a good thing. Meaning there hasn't been a lot of noise on this 10-minute chart, so that's great. So you can see I got some crosses here with Ethereum. That's what we're looking at now. And we got a cross here on the 9th, so that's tomorrow. And we have another one, probably about the same time. So maybe this is going to be something that happens. Maybe it goes like this, right? Here's the cross, it bounces up, and then there's another cross, and it goes up, hits about 4,000, and then it starts dropping down, and see if it can get support at 3,800. That's my Ethereum model projection. That looks good, doesn't it? We'll see if it plays out. So below 35.30 is a sell. We would look at a new entry level at 3,400 for Ethereum. If we get above 36.60, we're back in that buy zone, and that's where I have this mark happening. But I know there might be a little bit of noise through this 36.60 as it's trying to define a new support. And guys, you have to remember, there might be a little bit of distribution sideways action when it's trying to define a new support, as long as it goes up in a timely manner, that it doesn't start dropping again, or it's just going sideways and we're not making money from it. So those are my levels for Ethereum. The last one I got is XRP, and these are a little more longer out plays. You can see below $1, we're going to see lower lows and whatnot, and down to 89 cents, whatever. And then if we get above this $1.88, let's just say that, then we have a little level at 112 and 116. I got it all the way up to 124 for XRP, and we're testing support right now at $1.77. So we get above again, we're testing that 177. We get above the 110 or 108, let's just say 108, then we can probably get it ready for those $1.24s to happen. All right. Well, it's Friday, guys. Everybody usually is in a good mood on Fridays because they get 2 days off to relax. But you don't have to have that mindset that you can only get 2 days off to relax. We should all be looking at our jobs as just a goal to jump to a new level, to either create more time to do what we want or to have more value and enjoy our lives. So just keep that, food for thought, because that's what they want. They want us to be excited about 2 days off. I'd rather have a whole week off personally. So learn the system, learn the algorithms. We got a lot of guys, a lot of new guys coming into it as well. This is a good opportunity to get into this so we can all teach and learn together, and just keep, sharing that wisdom to other people. Appreciate the love and support. Make sure you subscribe to your boy. You hit that like, you hit that notification, because you never know when I'm going to release a video. I'm very spontaneous. I might release a video this weekend, right? This depends how I feel. All right, guys. Peace.